This week, Phoebe answers a question we received on Instagram around being a mum and running a business, and we take you to an install in Kenmore. Welcome back to Foxy TV, episode 165. The team also went indoor rock climbing, which was a lot of fun. Hang around to the end of the episode to see some footage of that. Let's now jump into our chat with Phoebe on being a mum and running a business.
So this is the second time we've had a newborn since we've started the business. The business has been up for 5 years. We had Alice the second year in business, and now we've got Evie. How do I think about running a business and being a mum at the same time? Obviously a balance act that happens, but it's all about flexibility. I've spoken before about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are work days, Thursday and Friday they're family days. So either Jake or myself will have those days at home, and they're sort of a non-negotiable most weeks. Sometimes Alice does go into daycare on a Thursday, but Evie's not at daycare yet, so Evie's with me all the time. We've spent the last sort of year since we knew that we were going to have Evie, no, not a year, 6 months, preparing for her to be here so that I didn't have to go out on site. So we had the team structure come in, something we should have looked at exploring and doing ages ago. In hindsight, it's something we really definitely should have done. So getting that team structure in place, so I'm not spending my nights doing quotes, and I'm not spending my entire day answering certain phone calls that are coming through, just asking standard questions. So now we've got Elise and we've got Gabby, and that enables me to have my night times back most of the time, and be able to do stuff on the business that I want to do if I choose to do it. So that way we can get home and have family time. So it is very much a balancing act. I would love to say that when I am with the kids, I am 100% with the kids mentally. And I think that's definitely somewhere that I would love to get to. If I said that, I think I would be lying, and Jake's pulling a face behind the camera at me. I'm not quite there yet. So I am still very much thinking about what's going on with the business, who might have called, and do I need to call that person back? I haven't withdrawn myself from that element yet. I definitely need to work on that. I don't know how long that would take for me to get to that point. I don't think it gives me mum guilt, which I know that a lot when I speak to a lot of mums about how many hours they might be working in the business. I feel like we do most of the time, especially since I've had Evie, have a really good balance, although I am still doing some work at night time after the kids have gone to sleep. I think that's the trade-off. It's about being flexible. It's 11 o'clock, or it's a business day, it's a Thursday in the warehouse, I have done no work. And it's about being okay with that and shifting my time frames and my days around, but making sure I have the people here to make sure the work still gets done. I think that goes for both mums in businesses and dads in business, because Jake still has to be pretty flexible. It's not just about being a mum in business. Yesterday I had a mastermind session. It's a coaching session that I do once a month. So Jake was at home with the kids. He was not working. So it's about being flexible on both sides.
A couple of things that came to mind. One is that our answer isn't the answer. You know, the way that we do things is what works for us. But that's not to say we get it right or that it would work for everybody. And the second, two other things. One is that there's a lot of compromise, and we're okay with that. There are times where we don't get as much done in the business or on the business that we would like to do. There are things that slip, and unfortunately that sometimes means that the guys around here have to kind of pull in and make up for us. And they do that, and we've got a great team and a great culture, and we're here to help each other. So there is compromise on both sides. Sometimes we miss things, like you mentioned. You had your mastermind last night, Phoebe, and that meant that Sam couldn't make football training. I've got the 3 kids. Evie didn't have milk, and there's things that happen that mean that we don't always get to do everything we'd like to do. But the third thing, which kind of ties into that, is we try not to judge ourselves. We're okay with that. Like, no, we wouldn't choose to skip things or have things get let go or not as good as or enough time spent on things that we would like. We'd prefer that not to happen, but when it does, we understand that stuff happens. It's life. It's the life of a business owner and of a mum and dad of a young family. So not judging yourself when things don't always go exactly right, as long as to steal kind of a phrase a little bit from Gary Vee, as long as your intent is there. We know what we want to do. We know we have the right intent with our kids, we think, it's right for us. We have the right intent with our business, and if we don't always get that right, we don't kind of punish ourselves. Or you talked about mum guilt. We don't need to feel bad about the fact that we don't get it right all the time. So yeah, that's all I had to add.
Thank you, Phoebe, and also Jake, for that perspective. It's now time to take you to an install in Kenmore, where Ebony was lead styles and Laura went along to get some footage and also to provide some commentary.
We have just finished up at this house here in Kenmore. It's a 4-bedroom house, also has a retreat downstairs, also a study downstairs, and a beautiful big living area upstairs. Ebony has done a lovely job. It looks beautiful. She's gone for a modern look today and it's come together really well. We have had a few challenges. We had a steep driveway, which we had to walk up and down a few times. We also had a few tradies around doing renovations outside, and then the boys had to head off to a pack up halfway through the install to grab some more furniture and drive back again. But despite the challenges, everything has come together really well and it's a lovely outcome.
The team had a bit of fun earlier this week where we went to Crank Indoor Rock Climbing. I'll finish this episode with some footage from that. So thanks so much for watching and we'll see you back here next week.
Oh, come on.